Hello everyone, my name is Hannah D.V. Cobrado. I'm based to mathematics and I will talk about netizenship and etiquette in online communities. Lesson 2, Module 7. Lesson outcomes. Number 1. Define netizenship and etiquette. Number 2. Formulate a set of netiquette guidelines. Number 3. Create a campaign video to promote Netiquette. The case involved two minor students from a certain school whose photos were posted on Facebook. The photos, which were uploaded by one of their friends, showed the students drinking and smoking in a bar and wearing such undergarments on the street. The photos were shown by one of the Facebook friends of the girls to the school officials, prompting them to ban the students from marching in their graduation rites. According to the school, the students violated the school code of conduct. The parents of the students in defense filed a petition for the issuance of writ of habeas data and asked the court to order the school to surrender and deposit all soft and printed copies of the photographs and to declare they have been illegally obtained in violation of the children's rights to privacy. The court dismissed the parents' petition and ruled that the school did not violate the minors' privacy rights. According to the court, the school cannot be faulted for being steadfast in its duty of teaching its students to be responsible in their dealings and activities in cyberspace, particularly in social networks, when it enforced the disciplinary action specified in the student's handbook, absent as showing that, in the process, it violated the student's rights. The decision of the court stated that the student cannot invoke the protection attached to the right to informal privacy because of the photos were seen by other students of the school, who in turn showed them to the computer teacher who reported the incident to the school authorities. In the language of the court, the photos having been uploaded on Facebook without restriction as to who may view them lost their privacy in some way. The court further added in its ruling and setting their privacy to friends only. It's not assurance that it can no longer be viewed by another user who is not Facebook friends. With the source of the content, the decision read that without proof that they placed the photograph subject of this case within the ambit of their protected zone of privacy, they cannot insist that they have an expectation of privacy with respect to the photographs in questions. The decision of the court puts the burden of ensuring safeguarding privacy online user and expects them to exercise due diligence in their online dealings and activities. According to the court, not discounting the role of school and parents in disciplining and educating their children to be good digital citizens, self-regulation is the best means of avoiding privacy rights violation. It further issued a ruling saying that nothing is ever private on Facebook, even those tagged as private never really escape public viewing, including unintended audience.
Netizen is an active participation in the online community of the Internet. Merriam-Webster Dictionary, April 26, 2008. Netizen is a slang term derived from the combination of the words Internet and the citizen, and used to describe an individual who spends a lot of time on the net. So these are the people who are spending much time in the internet, so that we call netizen. Netizen is refers to an internet citizen who uses network resources, which connotes civic responsibilities and participation. The term commonly also implies an interest, active engagement in improving the internet. making it an intellectual and social resources. Its surroundings political resources or structures, especially in regard to open access, net neutrality, the free speech. The term was widely adopted in the mid-1990s as a way to describe those who are inhabitant of the choreography of the internet.
Netizenship.
Is the citizenship in the internet or in the virtual world. It has been observed that even if the internet provides access to volumes of new information, ease of communication, and a variety of tools that enable active citizenship, too few take advantage of the opportunities to be better informed or engaged citizen. Anyone in the internet is said to be a citizen, but it site's intention to extend that defined for those who able to apply the internet to their participation in the campaigns, election, and governments. In short, this will be the advocates of the netizenship.
Netiquette.
Rules of socially accepted that needs to be observed in writing and email, texting, and other communication of the web. It is an etiquette or etiquette of cyberspace. Etiquette means the forms required by good breeding or prescribed by authority to be required in social or official life.
Netiquette guidelines.
Protect your reputation. Whether in real or in virtual world, you are the same person. Do only what is appropriate and share information does not harm you as a person. Your online reputation is an essential component of your personal brand. When you protect your online reputation, you safeguard your brand, and a successful career or a business can only be cemented on a rock solid brand foundation. How do I protect my online reputation? You can take 5 steps. First, secure private information. Second, set firm privacy settings. Third, have everyone Google themselves. Fourth, clean up your family social media platforms. Fifth, register your own name online.
Respect others.
Respect begets respect. Treat everyone with respect, even if you have not seen him or her in person. Be judicious about what you say on your own and others' page, because respect means that you accept somebody for who they are, even they are different from you and you don't agree with them. Respect in your relationship build feelings of trust, safety, or well-being. Respect doesn't have to come naturally. It's something you earn. Express yourself clearly and use emoticons. Communication online is difficult because emoticons or emotions are not evident during communication. Miscommunication usually takes place because your facial expression and your body language cannot be seen, the tone of your voice cannot be heard. In the right context, emojis make it easy to convey emotions and save space. Emojis might be even essential given how much office communication now happen through email and messaging. Emojis help substitute some of the missing tone of your voice, body language, or facial cues, ensuring meaning isn't lost or misconstrued. Remember the intellectual property. Ideas online are products of intelligence of others. If you need to cite them, acknowledge the authors. Intellectual property refers to the creation of the mind, such as invention, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, names, and images. Intellectual property rights provide protection for creation and invention to enable creators and inventors to earn recognition and financial benefit from it. Intellectual property rights are legal rights that provide creators' protection for original works, invention, or the appearance of products, artistic works, scientific developments, and so on. Checking spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Good writing means good manner. We do not want to waste other people time reading in our post, which is incomprehensible. In order for a sentence to be grammatically ordered or correct, the subject and the verb must be both singular or plural. In other words, the subject and verb must agree with one another. For example, if the subject is plural and the verb must be plural. If the subject is singular and the verb it must be singular. Pause before you post. Take note that whatever or whenever you post becomes permanent. Therefore, think twice or thrice before you click and send. Pause before you post is a movement to remind students to carefully consider the consequence of posting something online, whether they are posting something private about themselves or something hurtful about someone else. The cost can be steep. Do not share your personal information. Sharing your personal information online is like going around the streets wearing a shirt printed with your name, birthday, address, name of parents, etc. Providing all this publicity will make you prone to identity theft. So, why it is important not to share personal information? As an individual who have access your personal data can retrieve your login information for various websites or commit cybercrimes such as tax fraud, all while posing as you. Identity theft is a tip or type of crime that can have long-lasting repercussions for both of your digital privacy and your online reputation. Think about who or what you are presenting. As a son or daughter, you are representing your family. As a student, you are representing your school. You do not want your family or school put in shame of what you do. So you must think of what you do so that there will be nothing wrong about it.
Swinburne University of Technology.
General Guide to Netiquette. The online communication tools in this MOOC enable you to discuss related topics to deepen your understanding of the MOOC's content and to get and give help to other participants. The guidelines for how to communicate using these online communication tools is called Netiquette. Think of it as etiquette for the internet. Participating in online discussions takes some getting used to. The first few times you participate, you may feel nervous about sharing your ideas publicly. The more you take part, the more comfortable you become using online communication tools, and the more you will benefit from your participation. So let's talk about general politeness. An online discussion, like a face-to-face discussion, is a personal exchange of information. It can, however, take place over an extended period of time, say 1 or 2 days, a week, maybe more. This means you can either respond immediately to discussion points or take some time to respond after reflection. Ideas and impressions are written rather than spoken, so you don't have the advantage of body language to help you interpret meaning. Therefore, it's important to remember the following points. Be polite and avoid bad language. Acknowledge people's contributions. Respect other people's point of view. Be non-judgmental and supportive. Be aware of cultural differences. And finally, be careful with humour and sarcasm. One way to overcome the fact that you can't see the person you're talking to is to use what are called emoticons. These little images provide a visual meaning to your written words. For example, a smiling face can be represented by the characters :bracket. Similarly, the acronym LOL, LOL, stands for laugh out loud, and this represents laughter. Only use these if they suit the context and you feel comfortable with them. Otherwise, it's probably a good idea to avoid overusing them. Okay, let's cover some basic online communication guidelines. Firstly, what's the point of participating, I hear you ask? Well, if you make a regular commitment to log on and check the discussion board, You'll get to know your online community and become an active member of the group. Plus, when you take part in an online discussion, the MOOC's moderators and other participants get a clearer picture of your understanding and your level of interest. The nature of this MOOC relies on building a community, which enables participants to benefit from the development of personal learning networks, also known as PLNs. Here are a few things you can keep in mind when you're posting messages. Try and keep your messages reasonably short. This helps others follow the discussion. If you have something longer to say, try and attach it to a short message as a separate document. But take care not to overload the system with excessive amounts of information. Make sure the subject line of your post is clear. People see it first and often use it to decide whether or not to read your message. Consider it a promotion for your ideas. Be careful to express yourself clearly and keep to the subject of the discussion. Try to move the discussion forward rather than saying things that could end it. Don't be afraid to speak from your own perspective and give your own ideas. But keep in mind that if you quote, the rules of copyright and plagiarism apply here as they do elsewhere. If you use someone else's ideas, cite them appropriately by using quotation marks and give the person credit. For example, you could start out by saying, "As John stated in his post on the 5th of October, etc." Finally, keep messages jargon-free. What makes sense to you may not make sense to another. Always try and define the terms and acronyms that you're using fully before you use them. So, what are the best things to check before you post a message? Well, the most obvious one is to have a quick read through all the contributions. That way, you can avoid repeating something other people have already written. You can proofread your message for grammar, punctuation, spelling and layout to make the meaning clear. Try and observe and get a feel for the discussion to ensure the correct level of formality is used. Generally, online discussions are informal but polite. Check who you are replying to. If your reply is not valuable to the whole group, reply to the author only. Reread your message. If you accidentally send the wrong message, you will need to contact the MOOC administrators to have it erased. Okay, it has to be said, what kind of things are bad to do? A discussion is public, so it's wise not to write anything which discriminates on the basis of race, colour, nationality, age, marital status, sex, political affiliation, religion, disability or sexual preference, or which might be considered obscene, offensive, threatening or intimidating. This includes offensive text or pictures, for example, pornography, racism, sexism, obscenities, insults, sarcasm, defamatory statements, rumours, and gossip about individuals or organisations. Such comments have no place in online communication where the general approach is supportive and collaborative. In extreme cases, people who persist in offensive or disruptive behaviour may lose access to the tool and may be barred from participation. Never publicly attack another member or post an emotionally charged contribution. This is considered flaming and it's not acceptable. It is inappropriate to correct someone's mistakes in your posting to the group. If it is necessary to point out a mistake, use a private email. Only use capitals for specific purposes such as headings or acronyms. Otherwise, it can seem like shouting. Never post when angry. Don't dominate the discussion. Keep in mind that no advertising is allowed. And don't forward sensitive content without the writer's permission. This protects the confidentiality of any content that was intended only